and the question is, okay, Derek, I like what you're doing, but what about the vote splitting? Okay? Yeah, that's the question, right? Okay, well, I'm going to turn that question on you, and I got a good question for you, okay? How many people here think that Aaron O'Toole, if I go home tomorrow and just do nothing, okay, like I pack it up, go home, just forget about this whole thing, how many people here think Aaron O'Toole has a shot at winning this next election? Anybody? Anybody at all? Any hands anywhere? Okay, all right. Well, you have just answered your own preemptive question that I gave, okay? If Aaron O'Toole is not going to win, then there is no vote to split, right? There's no vote to split. And certainly, friends, certainly in Alberta, there is no vote to split, okay? You guys vote, listen, you guys voted 80% for your guy here, okay, roughly, you know, a little more than that, I think. But, the Liberals are polling at like 7%, the NDP at 8%. So if you have another solid Conservative that's running, it's going to be one Conservative or another, right? It's not going to be, you're not going to get a Liberal candidate in this riding, ever. So in Alberta, there's no vote to split. In other parts of the countries where it might be tighter, it's like, listen, you can teach the politicians a lesson and vote and not waste your vote, right? Or you can just vote and then they take it for granted. That's what they've done to you guys, right? Aaron O'Toole, you guys voted, almost every man, woman, and child, if that were possible, voted Conservative in the last election. And then what does O'Toole do? He says, oh, well, you know, we can afford to lose votes out there. Well, how is that payback, right? I mean, I like to keep my friends close. Right? But you guys are expendable. Right? And and then people the Toronto Star or something was asking him about the crowds that I was getting. And you know what he said? And it's funny, he said it so quickly, I know that he was prepped to say this by his Liberal advisors. He's like, he said this very thing. He said, we don't want those people in our center-right party. Ugh. Doesn't even know who you guys are. So I'm going to tell him who you guys are. How many people here, we're going to do a montage of this, it's going to be thousands of people. How many people here are long-time Conservative volunteers, donors, voters, involved in the Conservative process? Okay, so you guys aren't just some, fringe wackos, right? Okay, well listen. The very people that are coming out to see us are the Conservative base. And Aaron O'Toole is throwing the base under the bus. He's throwing them right under the bus. And he'll be rewarded for that. But what I'm saying is don't vote for someone who doesn't care about you, doesn't want you in the party, doesn't want your vote. Just don't do it. Because if you did it, then he'd be like, oh wow, I can really treat these guys like garbage. This is great. Right? It'd be his best day ever. So the fact is there is no vote to split in Alberta. You will get a Conservative of some stripe. No question. Right? No question. And when it comes to other parts of the country, they should worry about, instead of splitting the vote, wasting their vote. Right? Because this is, I mean, concerns about splitting the vote of what got us here in the first place. So we need to make sure that we're not wasting our vote. And listen, even if all you do is teach someone else a lesson, that's more valuable than being taken for granted. So that's a great thing. And the person that called me this morning said, Derek, man, if you and a few others can get elected, wow, what a wake-up call that will be. So it's time for a big wake-up call, that's for sure.